Well. Hello out there in world. Hi, world. Welcome to Let's Grow Together podcast, where I am here today with a beautiful guest. Her name is Debbi Sluys, right?
Sluys. Yeah, you did great.
Oh, sorry, I got a pronunciation. Debbi Sluys?
That's right.
Okay, all right. Forgive me for the mispronunciation.
No, you did fine. Everyone struggles with it.
Bet you they do.
Yeah.
Well, I am honored to have Debbi here with me today, and we are going to be talking about how we can grow together, breaking generational curses, because I truly believe generational curses are going to be broken through education. Let's back it up. How about love, education, and motivation?
Mm.
Because I noticed since I have been building my company over the past 12 years, as long as I've been in doing the business, I asked God to send me people to make a difference in this world. And I also said, here's what I like to do. I want people to come into my vision that see things like I see it, making a difference. And then we're going to bless each other forward. And once we educate that one has to go and educate another one, and on and on and on and on. And I said, if we followed a pattern like that, beauty is on our horizon. So I sat on radio, Debbi, for 10 years, speaking something that were not as though it were. And I have had an appointment with you before, and I found out some great things about you, that you are on a mission to help people as well. And that's how generational curses are going to be broken. And we're working on making a difference for the next generation. Because I don't know how old you are, but I'm almost 67. And my age range, we are the last living generation of this age. Once we're gone, there's no more. So we got to go back and bring the ones that are behind us forward into the light. So that's why you are here today. I want to hear about your business and what it is that you do. So first of all, I just want you to introduce yourself, and I want to know the name of your business.
Sure. So I live in Ontario, Canada. And as you said, my name is Debbi Sluys. It's from Dutch descent. My in-laws, as well as my parents, were both immigrants from Holland after World War II.
Okay.
So I'm a mom. I have 4 children, and the 3 of them are married. I'm also a grandma. And yeah, I have 3 grandbabies, and I'm 56, not shy to talk about my age. And I'm in my encore career, meaning that my first 30 plus years I spent in the field of childcare. And so I was a not-for-profit childcare director. I ran a multi-site organization. It really set me up for this current company, which is called Dare to Declare, because what I noticed was more, as you talked about, this generation. What I noticed was the women coming in, the new employees, they were really lost with what's their purpose. They didn't seem to have a clear sense of direction, and then that really created problems with them. Our organization, for them as employees, we had a lot of turnover. And so that's where I discovered that I wanted to support people to articulate their purpose, which is dare to declare what's their truth, what's their purpose, what's their vision, and then to set out goals. And so that's why Yeah, I love the name of my company, Dare to Declare. Although I had,
Dare to declare. I'm writing that down. That's the name of your company. Oh,
hmm
I love it. Isn't that a beautiful title? See, people don't realize they can create any interesting business name that they want. Once we're going to inspire them to start running businesses. So, yeah, dare to declare. I love it. Okay, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you on that.
Oh no, that's okay. It's just not great when you're at the Canadian American border and they say, "Do you have anything to declare?" And then they say, "What's that sticker on the side of your car?" And I say,
Ah,
"Oh, that's the name of my company, Dare to Declare." And the guy says, "What? What are you talking about, daring to declare?" And I was like, "Oh no, it's not anything political. It is simply a statement of empowerment that we get to declare a truth." Anyways, I took the sticker off the side of my car because I'm like, I don't have
don't
time
want
for
to
that.
start no problems,
I
huh?
don't want to find it, create any problems. But it definitely has been like fine wine in that it's really matured and aged with me, the name of this company. And the more that I discover that the power of declaring, the power of our words, that we actually create our life from what we speak into it. And so what we allow others to speak to us and what we speak ourselves, it changes, it literally changes our life. And so that's why I just love this idea of declaring. And, you know, I know that you are also very spiritual. I'm a Christian. And so thinking about the word of God and how important that is. So yeah, so that's the name of my company.
Wow, I love it. You know why? Because you are on a mission. You are following the same guidelines that I'm following. This is what I prayed for. Send me people. I didn't even realize there were so many people out there on a path of doing the same thing that I was doing that I started over 10 years ago or 12 years ago. Uh, Out there wanting to give back. And now that after years have gone by, now God is dropping y'all one by one by one by one, dropping you one by one. And you are a fit. And I am going to ask you the next question because when I get done with these 5 questions, I know when you get done explaining the answer to these questions, then God is going to show me where you and I are going to grow together, fixing the mindset of the people. Anybody, next generation, people that still of our generation sitting around doing nothing, it's time to start moving our bodies and our minds and our hearts. Yes. Now, the next question is okay, what state is your business located? And after that, how long you been in business?
All right. Well, I'm not in a state because I'm Canadian. I'm in a province. But with COVID, what happened was I left my full-time job before knowing about COVID. I didn't know about COVID. So January 2020, I gave my board of directors my notice because I had been working my job for 2 years already, both doing my vision boarding and my business as well as my full-time job. And I gave my notice. And I decided that I was going to go step into this full time, and then COVID happened, and I was like, "Oh man, I might have to go ask for my job back. Like, what am I going to do?" But what that forced me to do was not force. What I had a choice to do was seek support. So I hired a coach, dug into my business even further. So instead of like, it was the opposite, right? Most people would just be like, "Oh, I gotta not spend money because I don't know if I'm going to make any money." But I was like, no, I need to invest in this dream that's been placed on my heart. And so what happened was I created a little mini vision board workshop because before that I only ever done the full ones, and it's called a power word. And that workshop, I attracted 65 people, 10 paying clients, and I was like, okay, God, you've got me on the right path. I know I'm supposed to do this. And so then I jumped into another high ticket coaching program that was amazing, but it was global. And so when you ask me where I'm from, I'm now a global company, and I have a in-person studio that is specifically built to do vision boards. It can seat 12 comfortably, maybe 14. It has like, it's beautiful. It looks like something out of a Kate Spade, I don't know, like very high-end, gorgeous studio. It's actually closing the second week the second week in September because the building's been resold. My husband used to own the building and then it's been sold. So I've got to leave it. And I was like, oh, I don't have a space anymore. I don't have a brick and mortar type of place, but you know what? I don't need it. I
You
have a
don't.
magazine. No, I have a magazine now that I created as well that manifested. And so with my own vision board magazine booklet, I can take my vision board experiences on the road. So I now pack 12 magazines, 12 pairs of scissors, glue sticks, and away I go with a laptop. And I can now serve everywhere. So my company is 6 years old. I started in 2018. And yeah, now I have in my academy, so I now train trainers around the world. We have 45 certified trainers who now use my proven process, my business in a box package with the vision boarding in their businesses. And they're from 5 different countries. I have South Africa, beautiful. She's gorgeous. Hepzibah, she's a lawyer and also a preacher. Her and her husband have a church. And she's a mom, and now she also facilitates vision board. She's an author. So, but she's one from South Africa, Ireland, UK. So yeah, we have people from all over the world now that are certified in the Dare to Declare vision board process.
Wow. Now listen, this is done virtually too, right?
Oh yes, my academy is all done online virtually. Um, and I also like I do it all different ways. I did a vision board experience. So I had different parts of my company. So I actually do the vision boarding, but I also teach others how to do it. But people hire me to do their retreats, but I've done it before, like Naples. I had an interior design company hire me and they just put me on a big screen, just like we're doing here, just zoomed me in on a big screen. And then they had another camera so I could see them. They could see me in the big screen. And I just coached from Ontario and they were all in Naples, Florida, doing their vision boarding. So there's just lots of different ways that it can be done through the internet. Now that we have all, this beautiful technology, which I don't know
Yes.
about you, but before COVID,
No
I had never been on
excuses.
Zoom before.
Right. COVID made a huge difference, because before we were out and about in front of people. Now, and only in our local areas, now we got the world in our hands right here virtually. And could you just, maybe some people that are listening might not know what a vision board is? Can
Sure.
you kind of explain what a vision board is? So those that don't have a clue, because there's a lot of people out there in darkness, they don't have a clue, especially the ones that are that is not business minded and just stuck. Explain to them the vision board. I love them. I've been using them for a long time, and they do work.
Mm-hmm. You know, People will say, well, I don't know what a vision board is, or I've never used one before, but I beg to differ. I would say that if you have even, this isn't visionary, this is still something that's a picture of something that happened like on vacation. A lot of people like they'll put a picture on their laptop, like as their backdrop, as their background, like a picture of a beach, for example, or they'll have pictures in their office or on their refrigerator of a past vacation.
Yeah.
Why? Because you want to remember how it made you feel in that moment because you know that it changes your mood and your mindset. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what it does, but it does it from a place of what do I want for my future, but you're bringing that feeling into the present tense. So that's really the simplified version of the science around it. But people like Oprah, Steve Harvey, Ellen DeGeneres, like they all swear by vision boards. And so many people say, well, I don't have one, but I'm like, you probably do in some form, but the way that I teach it will get it really intentional so that you don't have to wait for 20 years to go, oh, wow, yeah, right. I put on my vision board this dream home and now I'm living in it. Let's get that sped up so that within a year, 2 years, max 5 years, that you're living that life. And I have so many examples from my clients who say, Deb, once I got clear on what I wanted, it showed up. And it's not like law of attraction, if you've heard that before about the different universal laws. It almost sounds like a magnet. and I'll even say that sometimes, like we're like walking magnets, but we don't actually need to attract things to us. It's not like anything's moving towards us. What's really interesting is it's already there.
Yeah.
So you and I are talking, we were just talking, it's getting colder where you are. And for me too, we're heading into the fall. So you look outside, you see the leaves on the tree. Pretty soon, all of those leaves are going to be falling off, right?
Right.
Because well, try to count them. Just try. There's no way.
No way on this earth.
There is abundance everywhere,
Uh-huh.
but we don't necessarily see it in that way. It's just, oh, that's just a tree. No, that is an example of abundance. So then why do we not notice that there's abundance that's part of our birthright all around us? It just has to be revealed. And the way it gets revealed is when we get clear and focused. And the way we do that is we put images on a board. But so a vision board is a collection of images based on what you want for your future. You also, the way that I teach it is that it's not just based on business, or like a lot of people just make a board about business. I'm like, no, you are not just like, you and I are not just business women. We're talking that, like I said, I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, I'm a wife. I have all these other aspects. So you want to have this full holistic life on your board, and every image that you put on your board, you want to have a connection to it. So I also recommend my clients to put a picture of themselves in a happy time on the board, because it grounds and anchors the images, because it's a representation of your self-image. So you should see yourself in that dream car, in that dream home, carrying that awesome fashion bag, wearing the amazing outfit, feeling confident. Because if you just see a floating, a expensive handbag, a expensive luxury car, it's going to feel materialistic and just like stuff. And it's not going to have the connection and the feeling, which actually promotes the law of vibration. I don't know if I'm talking too high level here, but the law of vibration, which actually helps you then have these revealed to you what's already there.
You know what? I love the analogy about God's creation and the leaves and the trees. Do you know I use that in my teaching to show that God is the creator of many blessings? And we can look at all of his creation, the abundance of the leaves and things, but yet we as humans in our minds cannot relate to that because our mindsets are not geared to seeing abundance. So what you are doing is you are teaching others that there is more to life than where they are. You can have anything you want if you're willing to believe and put the energy in it to get it. So
Mm-hmm.
that is why we are educating people today to let them know there is more. There is another side to where you are sitting. And let us explain that other side to you. And if it sounds good, well, we are willing to take you to a higher place. If you don't like it, Jesus said, shake the dust off your feet and let's go to the next person and teach them what is available. See, the world is going down for lack of teaching and knowledge. So I came up with a vision saying, oh my goodness, this world is getting worse and worse and worse. And people are perishing for lack of knowledge. I went before God with a prayer and say, show me. I promise you I will do it. First of all, it puts me on radio to get me on the airwave to start speaking these things that be not as though they were coming down the pipe. See, people don't realize we have the power to speak. The tongue is a powerful thing. It has life. It speaks life, and that's what we want to go educate. Let's put life into what you're doing because everything God created is life. Look at the trees, the leaves, they're so beautiful. And then in the end, at the fall, then they change. It just shows how things happen. They change. And we change, we grow, we change, we learn, we grow. Same as the creation. But God's people don't know this stuff. This is why I created this ministry, Divine Divas Ministries, LLC, something different from anything ever on this earth. A ministry, most ministries are on the inside. Well, I took Jesus' command and says, I'm going to do like you, Jesus. I'm going to do like Moses. I'm going to do like Noah. You know, they all went out speaking, trying to get some sense into the people. Well, to this day, that is what I'm doing. We're living in the last days, and people have to make a decision. Either they can stay where they are, or they can get up and leave. But I know if anybody get up and leave, that means that there is a dash between where you are and the day you die. There is something when you get up and leave, that means you are moving towards something. And this ministry is building people around the world that is less privileged to get up and move, but they can't move until we come to them with something to move with. So that is why you are here today, Debbie, so I can understand how can you and I really grow together, making a difference in the mindsets of the people around the world, to let them know we all was born with a gift and a talent. And a lot of people don't have it because they have gifts, but they don't have any money. So they shove it aside. They don't even think about it. Well, I come to wake those gifts up. And in order to use those gifts, they're going to need your expertise. They're going to need my expertise. And I like the fact when you said you got started, you hired you a coach. Well, you know what? I did the same thing. I had to hire me a business coach to take me where I was going in my business, because you got to invest. You got to spend money to make money. That's one thing we got to let people know. If you want to make it in this world, you're not going to get it for free, because we see what free has done to society, right? Kept a lid on them. Nobody is growing. They stuck. They out here committing crimes and stuff because they don't know the other side. This is serious. We must get the other side to the people. And that is the education that you know that is going to be changing their mindsets, along with whatever it is that you have to give them to help them see that there is a dream that's inside of you. Now, let me show you how you can get to that dream, because it's going to take work. And see, people don't realize it takes work. If you have a dream and a vision, that means you are moving and doing something, and you got to be connecting with people. How else are you going to fulfill the dream? It's always going to have to be with people. And a lot of people are sitting back just watching TV all day, not doing nothing, but wasting their times and dying every day, and could be saving other people's lives if they knew better. So now we're taking information to them. They have to choose. Now, I guarantee you a lot of them going to be getting up and running like, woo, you mean I can have this and all you got to do is go get it? But you got to take God with you wherever you're going. You cannot just go out here and do these things on your own, because when you're doing that, now you're leaving yourself open to mistreat people, take advantage of people. I'm not looking for those kind of people in my company. I'm looking for straight up good people that want to change the mindsets of others so they can go and give too. And that is what's going to make this world a better place. That is, and then, hey, maybe Jesus will be back when he'll be pleased that we're doing the works. And thank God that we are taking our businesses as the ministry. Yes, you in ministry, because we're the only one out here doing like Jesus said, to go out and teach. He said, if they don't want to listen, what is shake the dust off your feet? And I tell you another thing, Jesus was a recruiter too. He recruited those 12 disciples. So in our teaching, if we have recruiting, we need to let these people know, well, Jesus was a recruiter. You love Jesus. How come you're not doing like Jesus? Why are you turning down something when you can be helping others? Because recruiting is only taking knowledge to people. People are perishing for lack of it. And look at the world today. It's a lot of zombies walking out there that don't know nothing. And they're perishing because of the people not going into the community and saving their lives by teaching them what God has given us to share. And who knows, once we teach them, they will wake up and start doing the same as you. They will talk about you, tell about you. But that's my belief, and I'm sticking to it. I believe that. So let me go to my next question.
Can I offer you something, what you just said, to
Yes,
expand
go
on
ahead.
that? So what you were just saying as well is like, it's, for free, and you got to spend money to make money. I also would just say it's about sacrifice. Nothing in this world is going to move you forward unless you decide to sacrifice. So
Yes.
if you think about, for example, if you want to be fit, well, you need to sacrifice junk food. You need to sacrifice sitting all day on the couch. There needs to be a new habit. There needs to be a new way of doing things. So that means you have to give up the old.
Yes.
So that's the big piece, is the separation, is that sacrifice. Now, people will say, well, this sounds so simple. It is simple, but it's not easy.
Nope.
The hard part is the persistence.
Mm-hmm.
And to stay with it, and to be willing to sacrifice. You have to give up the old in order to accept the new. And that's even in, with Jesus, right? We have to give up the old man, right? We have to give up the old sinful ways in order to live a holy life. Like, that's just the way to light. So that's also with this. And the other thing that you made me think about was about talents. And so in Matthew 25, it talks about the owner, and he had the 3 servants, and he gave one talent, and the second 2, and the other 5. And he went away on his journey. When he came back, the one with 5, it says in the Bible that he put his 5 to work. He put his 5 talents. So I don't mean those as literal talents, but you could, if you want to move this into a bigger metaphor, but he took those and he expanded them. He put them to work. The one with the 3 did, or with the 2 did the same. The one with the 1 got scared and he buried it because he was worried that the owner would be angry with him. Well, he was, because he said, you didn't do anything with it. And so what I see is I'm helping people take their dream, so their talent, because if God puts that on your heart, like if it's on your heart, God put it there. And so it's like, he's given you this dream, he's given you this vision, and now we get to put it to work. That glorifies God. I actually see the vision board as an act of worship.
It does glorify God, and that's what God wants of us to do. We need to be glorifying him. So I love that point. And that's a good teaching point when we're teaching. People act like they're afraid to talk about God or worship God like it's some big secret. But no, we supposed to be, and the only way we're going to glorify God is by going out there and doing what you and I are doing. Like I sat there 10 years and spoke something that wasn't, but I was saying, I know God is not going to let me down, because I'm proving that he is who he is. And I hung in there, Debbie. Nothing was ever happening, but I never wavered my faith. I says, Lord, time takes time. Because on my movement of what I'm doing, I don't do nothing until God show up and move me. And for 10 years, I sat there and waited for something to drop in my lap. And I'm here to tell you, it will. When you make a move and go out here and do for others and make a difference in this world, God will show up, because that's the only way that people are going to be knowing who he is by who we are and what we are doing to prove that he is alive and well. And people are watching us. You know, the Bible says to be watchmen. What do you think? I think it means to be a watchman means to watch people. This is how we learn, by watching others. Little do you know, people are watching you. That's why you want to be on your very best behavior, so that when people watch you, they will want to be like you, because you're setting examples for people to follow. You never know. It's amazing how God really works. We can't see him, but we know he's around, his presence, his creation is enough right there. He's abundant. Yeah, you cut your grass, what happens? If you water it, it comes right back, right? It's just like the fact with God and with the information we're given. Right now, we are watering, and God is the one that makes it grow. So the knowledge we're taking to people is water, living water, which is making them grow. And then once they grow, they get excited, and then they got to go tell somebody else. This is the only way that I'm going to see, that I see that this world is going to be better, is by us going out here and changing the mindset of the people that are in darkness and showing them that there is light. Can I show you the light? And if you want to follow the light is yours to take. We will teach you and show you that. And then now we all can be successful. If they want wealth, well, by golly, ask God for it, but don't look for the wealth for yourself. You do it for others. I'm already wealthy. I done already wrote out all my vision. I wrote $9 million under my pillow. I don't know if you saw it on Facebook, but I have posted that, showing that I wrote it 2013. I even put a date on it, just like your vision board. Same thing. Same as a vision board. You put a date on the board. I wrote that $9 million, 2013, April 2013, April 2023. I see billions, not millions, billions. See, God's going to give you more than what you asked for. But I don't want the money for me. I said, Lord, provide it so I can give it back to your people, especially the poor people, so they can get up and move, use those gifts, because the poor are the ones that's sitting around wasting time. If you notice, they are. It's the poor. Okay, the next question is, who is your business servant? Be specific in your description of your target audience. Who is your business servant?
Well, I have two streams. So mostly I'm serving women. If I look at my Facebook, for example.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just did that for a minute.
Okay.
I need to move. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, so if I look at my Facebook, I serve women, typically women. So I would say about 90% of my clientele are women, and they're aged about 40 into mid 60s. So those are the women that come into a vision board workshop with me, and then I go and do retreats, and who buy my magazine and do my online course as well. But the ones that are doing it and taking it as a business, they are probably more in their 40s, just getting into 50s, because they're looking at an encore career, or they want to add it into their entrepreneurial career. Like I have, people that are network marketing. I have people that I have a dance studio owner, a lot of coaches. I serve a lot of coaches. So coaches love to have this vision board training as part of their program, because almost everybody talks about imagination and visioning, but very few people actually know how to implement it. So this way it dovetails. It can be at the beginning of their program. They can offer their own retreats, their own VIP day. So yeah, so a lot of business women. I have two men who are graduates of the academy, and the other 43 are all women, and a lot of coaches. Yeah.
Okay, so do you consider yourself a coach or just a teacher?
Uh, I I am a coach. There's no doubt about it. But I am happiest in my role as a facilitator. So I know you talk about teaching, but the way that I teach is that I facilitate. And what I mean by that is I use a method called communities of practice. And so I like when people sit, like if I'm doing a big, large conference and, the round tables in the conference centers, that there's one that's kind of the mayor of the table or the leader. So whoever they appoint at that table, and that person makes sure everyone has an opportunity to speak. And what I love to do is offer my slide deck. So I've got my PowerPoint, but I'm asking questions like, what would you tell your 16-year-old self? And then they go to their table, and around the table, they're talking to one another and they're sharing their stories. There's usually tears. Like it's very emotional, but it's so beautiful. And then, depending on the size of the audience, I'll get some shares from a few people. And then I'll move to the next question. I'll say, now you're 80 years old. What did your 80-year-old self say to your current self?
Hmm.
So good. So they're learning for sure, but I'm not lecturing. I'm not teaching, but they're learning from themselves and from one another. Yes, they're learning from me because I'm providing what I call, these are provocations. They're questions to support the deeper thinking. I do some teaching around the universal laws and how, like I just shared with you, how, you look in the mirror. When you look in the mirror, that is actually your vision board. What you tell her, what do you say? What's the first thing you notice? If the first thing you notice are the wrinkles and like you're telling yourself negativity, or are you saying, dang, girl, you look awesome. Good for you. You drank your water yesterday. You moved your body. Like you are so blessed. Like, are you saying these things to her, which then is the vision for the rest of the day, right? So that
Absolutely.
that in itself. So I do teach these things, but my favorite thing is when I can coach even from the stage, which I think is facilitation, um, with those kinds of questions. And then I'll just give a little tip to anyone listening. If you do these exercises, like what I just said, 16-year-old self and then you're 80, what would your 80-year-old self tell to your current self? After you've written those down, what you'll probably notice is that there's a lot of similarities. So I imagine you'd say something like this, like I've worked with thousands of clients like that, usually the 16-year-old self, you'll say, don't be afraid to show up as yourself. Keep going, girl. Like you've got this. Like, don't worry what other people are saying. Believe in yourself, take chances, like all those things. Your 80-year-old self is like probably saying the same thing. Don't worry what other people are saying. Go for it. Live today fully. And so when you have all that wisdom, what I want you to do is take your right hand and cross it over your left arm. Take your left hand and cross it over your right arm. And in the circle that's in front of you, with your arms, you've created like a little circle. I want you to imagine the 16-year-old version of you. So she probably just comes up underneath your chin. And so that girl, remember her. And then behind you is the 80-year-old version of you. And she has her arms wrapped around both of you, the current you, the 16-year-old version of you. And so you might want to do a soft gaze or close your eyes, feel that embrace of the future version of you, the former version of you, the version of you that's right here, right now, feeling that love and recognizing, acknowledging all the wisdom as it just came pouring out of you about what you would tell your 16-year-old self, what your 80-year-old self would say, that you have so much wisdom stored within, that you have all the wisdom that you need to create the most beautiful, powerful vision for your life.
I can feel that. I felt something. That's a pretty cool exercise. Awesome. Yeah, I did feel that. I felt the warmth. And the
Mhm.
80-year-old me, yeah, well, there's not very much left after being 80, but you know, positive thinking is the key. That's the first thing that needs to be taught, and to remove all the negative. Once you get that negative clean out, I kind of like say, repent, turn right, and go straight. Now let us get you while your mind is clear. You got a clean mind and a clean heart. Now we can come in with good, positive information to remove all of that negative that has been holding people down for years on top of years on top of years. And since we're living in these days of the last generation, we need to get everybody involved to move and be doing something. And there is where the joy comes, when you are giving of yourself. Isn't it very exciting what you're doing, that you are giving? Because Jesus said there's more joy in giving than it is in receiving. So you're giving like I'm giving. I've been giving. I've helped many people come on my radio shows and help them get themselves out there, build themselves. And girl, they all are doing good. And I'm still just here, still like, but that's okay. My time is coming. See, the thing that God showed me is that when you help somebody else get where they want to be, you are going to get where you want to be. And what's so exciting is that I've helped many people through bringing them, like you, on my podcast and on my radio. It gave them an opportunity to grow, and they are growing bigger. So that's exciting to see that happen. Even though I might not be up there where people are, but my day is coming. And when it comes, God says mine's going to come through like a flood. It's just going to be like a huge flood, just washing everything out of the way, of people coming in and working with us in these businesses. I own 4 of them, and I'll explain that as soon as I get done asking this very last question. And that is, how does your business help others? Last question.
Well,
It sounds like the other question, but it's a little bit different. So
yeah.
how does your business help others?
Well, let's start with, what do people want? People want clarity. They want focus. They want to not be stuck. They want to live a life. You know, the number one thing that when it gets down to the very bottom of it, people say, I want to be happy. I want to be wealthy. No, you know what people want? They want to be content.
Mm-hmm.
And so I help people discover what it is that ultimately will bring them joy, that they'll invite beauty into their life, that they will feel content, that there is enoughness in all areas of their life, in their relationships, in how they're loving themselves and their self-care, taking care of themselves, having still not content as in passive. It's not passive. It's not like sitting still, but it's still moving forward, but being in that state of trust that everything is as it is supposed to be, which is incredible when you can rely on God in that way. And I call this radical gratitude, that when you wake up in the morning and yes, you're grateful for what has happened in the past, but that you can look towards your day knowing, oh, I got these appointments, or I got this work, or I have whatever, and being grateful for what has not yet even happened.
Right. Absolutely. That is so true.
So
Being,
when people have that kind of mindset,
mm-hmm.
then it has a ripple effect, especially those who are, as you said, the helpers, like a nurse, a teacher, any of those people that are in those professions. But think about moms, and when they have that kind of mindset, how that's going to have a ripple effect to their children or in marriages. So it just overall, it's this work impacts the person themselves. And I have them like, don't make a vision board. You can't make a vision board for your kids. I'm sorry. Like, so many moms are like, but I want my kids to do well. I'm like, nope, this is about you. Because
Mm-hmm.
when you focus in on you, then it has that ripple effect to all those around you.
It certainly does, because the parents is the leader of the game. Speed of the leader, speed of the game. So the kids will be watching. So that's a great great analogy. Yeah, that's very true. The parents should be the ones that setting the example of making those moves, and the kids like, wow, I'm going to do that too. And see, you got a world full of people
Yeah.
doing that. So there is a need. You know, I've heard this saying, success is finding a need and filling it. Your job is a need. There's so many needs out there that needs to be fulfilled. And see, when you start connecting with people and opening their minds, and they will begin to see different things that they can be doing, because there's passion of something in all of us. We have some passion, but a lot of people don't know it. Like, I was speaking with a person yesterday. He wants to start a business with us under my umbrella. But he says, you know, I just don't know what I want to do. And I says, you mean you don't have an idea of what you would like to give back? I said, because I see you on your job. You're doing a fantastic job connecting with people. I said, don't you know when you start your own business, this is exactly what you're going to be doing with the people, what you're doing right here for somebody else. You will be doing this for yourself. So I said, listen, you and I are going to get together. I am going to share some ideas of things that I've done. I tell people, go put some money under your pillow, honey. Go write millions under your pillow and put a date on it. And then you start talking to God, Lord, what am I going to do? What can I do to make this kind of money? That's all I did. I walked by faith. I stepped out there. I said, Lord, well, I tell you, I got connected with Dr. Mike Murdoch. I don't know if you know him. He's an old Indian preacher. I mean, you're talking about a motivational speaker on a spiritual level. He could break them words down in them scriptures and create a story to go with it that it just melts you on the inside. And that's what, and the world needs this. They need it. And anyway, I got involved with him on a call after it was called Millionaire DNA. It was a conference call. And there was about 800 people on the call. And he says there are going to be 3 people on this call that is going to be millionaires. And I claimed it. I says, I'll be one of them. So I went and wrote that under my pillow. He says, put a date on it. So I put April 2013. And I put also in my first year, I would be making that. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, April 2013, April 2014 came, nothing. And I'm sitting there like, well, I'm not a millionaire. Well, I had to wait on God. He began to download, and he put me on the radio. So that gave me more opportunity to put big words out there in the universe that wasn't even here. So I did all of that. And in the 7th year, more vision came down. And that's when I created more companies. After 7 years of being on the radio, just speaking as a ministry, Divine Divas, didn't know what I was doing. See, a lot of times when you're working and doing making a difference, a lot of times we don't know what we're doing, but we know we are doing something, and we believe in what we're doing. And with faith, you have nothing if you have no faith. Faith without works is dead. We need faith to fulfill what it is that we're accomplishing. And I don't know, a lot of people might not believe in spiritual or believe in God, but I'm here to help anybody that wants to make a difference. I don't care what their belief system are, but I definitely would love for them to be able to have a spiritual mindset, because this is a spiritual business. And I just don't want any crooked-minded people in here coming in with their negativity, destroying it. So in other words, no demons are allowed in here. We're only spiritual people going out following the guideline that Jesus said to go out and teach. He had a team, so now you got a team. The people you're working with, they are your team. And once they're done, they go off and spread and make more teams. This is how the world is going to change. And this is how we will see generational curses of the old being annihilated and the new will replace it. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about me and the companies that I created over the years. I came up with a school of learning. I'm very passionate about the school of learning because I came up in the Jim Crow area. We integrated back in the early 70s, and surely there wasn't, there was a difference. The blacks and the whites, they were separate. Even though we came together in school, we were still separate. And somehow I got messed up and cheated out of my education, and I ended up in remedial settings where I didn't get a lot of proper education. It was just a class where we were reading off of some silly cards like ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, like I started first grade all over again. So I am a publishing author. I wrote my book, From Cotton Picking to Dream Weaving. It is about my life. This is my autobiography. It's telling you a story of racism coming up in the South, my education being robbed and that I didn't learn much. It talks about the fact that my peers all went to college and I went too, but they all graduated, but I flunked out because education is very important. If you don't have it, you're not going to get very far without it. So I'm a living witness of, regardless of what somebody gave me, I didn't settle for it. We don't have to settle for what anybody put before us. And a lot of people have settled for whatever. So my job is to educate people, to let them know you don't have to stay where you are. You can get up, but you will need someone there to encourage you and feed you with the right information so you will get up and leave. So that book tells a wonderful story about how I did not give up. And no one else should give up and settle for anything that people put before us. But a lot of people have. Now we're coming with great information to show them you don't have to. We're here to help you. So the School of Learning is there for anybody that want to teach whatever subject matter that they want to educate. We're going to be doing classes. You will do your own class. We will collaborate. My business is a networking partnership collaboration / we're going to be doing recruiting because there are businesses out there with great products that is helping people, their bodies, just feeding more positive things into their system other than the negative, because you got to be cleansed from top to bottom. You got to cleanse all that toxin out of you before you can get in there and change that mindset. Mindset means it's a whole overhaul, cleansing, mind, body, soul, all of it. It's kind of like repenting and turning right and going straight. That's what it's all about. So I also have a coaching company, Divine Divas Coaching. I'm also looking for coaches. Now you say you're a coach. Now that would be a great collaboration. Now, once we collaborate, no worries, I will be promoting you as well, because I'm looking for people to come to you so you can clear their minds up so I can take them on down the road and do what they got to do. So in other words, we need some teaching before we go anywhere. Just like you and me had them business coaches, the people that comes with us, they got to start from the bottom and let us train them so they can move forward and go out and do the same, whatever their talents and gifts are. Because you talked about the parable of Jesus saying that the people who took their talents and buried them came back, didn't have nothing. But the ones that took their talents, in other words, we're talent. We took it out. We're taking our talents to the universe. And since we're doing that, what are we coming with? We're getting multiplication. Multiplication is what we want. We want multiplication. We want additions. We don't want no subtraction unless we're subtracting something that needs to be removed. But yes, that is the mission that I am doing. And I also have one other company, which is a foundation for the disabled community. Now, I decided that all the wealth that I would make in all of these businesses, collaborating and partnering with others. And when we collaborate, it ain't gonna be no argument, honey. It ain't gonna be you get 10% and I get 90. No, no, no. 50, 50, 50, 50. Say 50, honey. Say 50.
50.
50. 50. There's no reason to be fighting over no 50%. Now, see, the world wouldn't do that. The world want to give you 10% and they keep all the rest of it. But see, God, I asked God, I said, show me what to do, Lord. We got to bless these people, because if you get their minds busy and working and doing what needs to be done, idle mind being the devil's workshop is getting ready to go bye-bye, baby. Because the problem today is the idle mind is all into these people because they have nothing. They have nothing to choose for. They don't even know nothing. So they just running around like little zombies. But we're getting ready to catch them and stop them right dead in their tracks. And we're going to ask them, do you want better or do you want to stay where you are? Simple yes or no question. Most of them, I guarantee you, they're going to say, yes, I want better. So we're going to get in there and get inside of that soul and into their heart and find out, what is it that makes you happy when you do something? Then that's what you're going to go give back to the community. And there is where God will show up and bless our movement. See, he can't move a parked car. And it's a lot of parked people sitting around. They get up and they go to church and they do this, but we're talking beyond church. We got to go beyond that. We got to go bigger than just going to church. Jesus said outside. Why is it that nobody wants to go outside and do like Jesus said? You know that people hate recruiting. Oh, recruiting, I just hate to recruit. Well, you better be getting some Jesus running through your blood, because he was a recruiter. And you should be wanting to do like Jesus. So that's what we're doing, Debbie, today. I'm looking for people to partner with me, to collaborate, and the ball is in your court. I would love for you and I to sit down and see how can we do events together. Let's bring people in. I have an event coming up October 24th, which is my birthday. And that day, we're just going to be, I think it's just going to be an hour. That day, we're going to have people that are on there as guests to start speaking things that be not as though they were. And that will be their first thing that we're going to build on, the things that they say that they would like to accomplish. Because if they want to accomplish it, well, they have no reason not to do it, because the doors are open. In here, in my ministry, the door is open in your ministry with what you are educating. So I want to bring people together so we can meet them and hear what they are saying on my birthday. That's the big celebration. The next day, the 25th, I would like for you or all the people that I've done on my podcast, I would like for you to be a speaker, because now I'm hoping that we will grow together. because that's why I want you on this event. So we can get you out there and let the world know what we're doing. And the ones that are there, I want to join in too. There's no end to, we're always taking more and more and more. There's never no end to more and more and more. And then the last day, which is the 26th, that is the day that I got my business license. So October 26, 2012 was when I got the license to operate Divine Divas. So it's going to be a big 3-day celebration, but I want people there that I've already interviewed to be able to speak and let them know where we're going, what we're doing, and anybody else that want to hop on the train, come on. And in my company, you will be collaborating not only with me, you have the privilege to collaborate with anybody and everybody you want. And I will be there to sponsor and help you get that collaboration going, because I will be making money. If I'm going to make money and you're going to make money, I'm going to put my hand in it. So I will be finding people because people are out there wanting to grow with me. They want to start a business, but they can't go anywhere until they get some training. I'm not sending them out there green as a cucumber. They got to come to you. But no worries, God owns all the money. He owns all the money. I got a money strategy of how I am going to be able to give money back to the less privileged so they can turn around and give the money to you so you can teach them something. That's what God showed me. I have a way of creating wealth. And when they help me recruit and bring people into this company, and of course they got to pay, we're going to work together 5 years. I have contracts, but I also have collaboration contracts where we'll just do, off to the side. But we do have other choices. I have the other businesses, the School of Learning, the Divine Divas Coaching, Carlos and Friends, and Divine Divas Ministry. We can collaborate in any one of those companies, any one of them. But you got to come through me. And also, I also want to meet people that, if you know people that you want to invite on my podcast because you want them to be a part of this too. Now, everybody you bring in, these are your people. Y'all put your heads together and go make more money. God showed me wealth, baby. I mean, I see trillions. But all I need is God's people to be with me on this journey of less educating people. And I got the world in my hand. I just trademarked my D. Divine Divas is already trademarked. And according to my attorney, I can go around the world now that both the logo and the name is trademarked. Now I can go in other countries. So God's got this. He's fulfilling a dream that I spoke. And we got to go let people know it's power in our tongue. And the reason we don't have anything, because we don't know that there is power in our tongue. But right now, a lot of people are speaking life and death together. You cannot do both. It's either you're going to speak life, which is positive, or you're going to speak death, which is negative. But you cannot entertain the two together. So we are going to go out and educate people to let them know there is a difference. And we want you to fall on the positive side, because everything positive comes from above. God created positivity. So our time is up, and I just want to thank you for joining in with me today and sharing your visions and how you are teaching people how important it is to put your vision in front of you. And another way to do your vision, also writing is also good. And I learned from Dr. Mike Murdoch the 61 miracles. I teach my people how to create miracles because God is the creator of miracles. You write down 61 miracles. Number your paper from 1 to 61. Put 61 miracles at the top. Put the year, the month, and the year. These are your miracles that you are going to work on for the whole year. It's like a vision board. You can even go and do a vision board to correlate with the miracles. But on the miracles is for you to tell God miracles. And it's not always about you. Remember, when you write those miracles, tell God what can you do to be a difference and make a difference in the people that comes in your path. Now you done got God happy because he needs us. This is the only way that the world is going to get better. I'm sorry. The churches are praising and worshiping, and I have nothing whatsoever to do with that. But the praising and worshiping is good. But we got to get out here and get to these dead souls. And that's how we're doing it, through our businesses. And I was very blessed and honored to have you with me today. And I thank you, Debbie, for being on my podcast. And you and I will talk later if you feel that this is something that we can do together. We will let's start by putting those dates down, October 24th, 25th, 26th, because I would like to have you as a guest to share with the people there how they really do need something in front of them to fulfill what's going on. And it's the best thing to keep a distraction away from you. That's a great way from being distracted, is by having that vision board. And I have 2 of them in my bedroom. I wake up and stare at it. And you should always change it. How often do you think you should change that board?
At least once a year, but 18 months, 2 years max. But I would say once a year you want to create a new one. So don't take your old one apart. Leave it the way that it is. Put a date on it when you create it, sign it, and put it away because it will continue to manifest, but create a brand new one. Yeah.
Amen. And you know what? I always carry over the things that didn't happen. I carried over to, and you know what? There is a living fact that whatever you put on that board, if it's from your heart and it's your heart's desire, and you're going to go do your heart's desire, do you know that board, you will accomplish what's on that board? And we got to teach people, this is why they have nothing, because they're not speaking and they're not doing anything. What's that, your book?
This is my magazine. And so it's based on the thousands of clients I've worked with. And it's on Amazon. It's called the Dare to Declare magazine. And it has an online course and magazine. It's $19.
Dare to Declare magazine. Okay, you got a magazine. Okay. And is that what they use do they cut out pictures of that? They cut out of here, your magazine.
Yes.
All right.
So the number one thing people
out.
don't make a magazine or don't make a vision board is they say, oh, magazines are expensive. I can't find them. Well, you don't have any excuse. This is all you'll need. It comes right to your door. Just order on Amazon, and it has a QR code, not on the front, but inside, for my online course. So you're going to get me in your office, in your living room, and you can do it at your own pace, your own time, but it's a full course. That value is like over $500 worth. It's for $19.
Very good. Okay, then. Well, hey, it was a blessing to hang out with you, and I will get you a copy of the show so you can pass it on, because remember, if I help you get where you want to be, then you're helping me where I want to be. So share the video because it's going to benefit you. I will be posting all of my shows on my social media. You go on YouTube, a lineup, or all the different social media sites. So you will be there and known. And so, Debbie, this has been a great honor. And they know where to find you, daretodeclare.com.
That's right.
daretodeclare.com. That's a good one. Thank you so much. And
All right.
you have a blessed day.
You too.